Okay, here we are, and we're doing a video about the saving instantiated game object. I reached at the version 8 now with my asset, and at the moment can save instantiated game objects. But some people they're actually using game creator like me, which is a very cool asset. But at the moment, since it's still work in progress, he's having this problem on saving instantiated objects. Probably in the future they will be solved this problem, but in the meantime I just wanted to learn a little bit how saving stuff is working, and I end up by doing my own system. So I said, okay, maybe other people they will actually need this stuff for their own games which they don't use, maybe game creator, or maybe I don't know. Here I will integrate it together with game creator. In this way we can see that is actually working with it. If you don't know what is game creator, this is the version 2 of game creator. You can go on UnityStore and search it. Very cool asset. It's having like lots of stuff for you for creating a game, even if you don't know how to code. It's just buttons to press in other sense. Now I have here a scene, an example scene from Game Creator, which is the one with the inventory. If you don't know where are those, they are in Asset, Plugins, Game Creator, Install, and then you have Inventory Example. If you don't have this, probably you should go in Game Creator and install the examples over here. So you press here and you install them if you don't have that already installed. So I use this one, pick up items, this scene over here, which actually it's working like this. You go, you pick up stuff, and let's see, for some reason it's giving me some errors. Okay, wait, this is because I was doing a test earlier. And I add my own scripts. I'm gonna remove it. So in this way it's gonna be like the default. Besides the float string integer, that's just a script that is saving strings, integer, and bools. Doesn't do anything else. It's just a empty script. So over here you take stuff like this flower, and you have it over here, and then you can go somewhere else. You drop it down, and supposedly you save the game. You are supposedly to find it over here where you left it. Now it's not on the floor because it doesn't have a rigid body, but that's another thing. We don't need that. Now let's do a test of saving a load with Game Creator first. So we create a canvas and we add two buttons. Now Game Creator is saving his own buttons. If you don't know, we're gonna use those because we need to save with his system. So we use the normal button. I don't use the text mesh for this. It's the same like the normal buttons, but instead of the events you have the actions over here. But if you like the events, which actually is doing the same thing, you can say invoke, and it's doing the same thing, invoke method. Okay, so it's doing that. Now I'm gonna duplicate this button and I will move it to the right. Now on this button we will say save, and on this button we will say load. So we have a save button, a load button, but at the moment it's not doing anything. we will add the save game, and we will say over here to save in the integer 1. We cannot save in the save 0. It's having a save 0. It's used for author settings and stuff, but it's not a problem. And load game, and we have to choose the same number over here, number 1. Okay, so now let's do our test. This it will be a long video, I'm very sure, so do pause here, get a cup of coffee or a tea. Okay, so we're getting a flower in our inventory. We're moving here on the left side, so we're having on the inventory, actually we're taking 2 flowers, and we move here in the left side, and we will drop one, which is here above the head. Okay, and we save the game. We didn't put a text to actually show in the console that is saving, but we will put that after. Let's load again. It's doing an error for some reason. Okay, I think it's the event system if I'm correctly. Let me see. It doesn't have an event system. Okay, UI event system. Since we are here, we're gonna add a text here, a debug text, and this one it will be save it, and the other one it will be loaded. I just want to do one more test on loading back a runtime game to be sure about these errors. I don't like to have errors. Sometimes they're stupid errors because some weird stuff. Says object reference not set to an instance of an object. There is an event system actually. Wait, it was hidden. There is one here, but it's not this the problem. So I will just turn off a little bit the pickups. Pretty sure that the problem stays somewhere else. I will turn on even the tutorials. We don't really need these tutorials. Let's see now. And still we have an error somewhere. Okay, I will put this canvas off for a second to see. So is my canvas. Why is my canvas doing this? Yeah, sometimes Unity. Screen space overlay, why? Okay, what the here, take this camera. Happy now. Let me turn this back on. And even the pickups, since they are not those, even the tutorials found the problem. Probably the tutorials, they will still do the same thing, but you are supposed to make like 3 errors. If it will do it on the pickups, is because even the pickups, they have a canvas, but they are disabled on start. They should not give errors. Yep. Okay, so it is no more errors. So we have the save and the load. Okay, I could actually stay on that. Yeah, anyway, we're gonna ignore this error for now. What we need is this one and this one, and we go, and I don't see my canvas now. Yeah, whatever. We go over here, we drop one of these, and now I will save. So it's getting saved. Now I will load back, and we load in the same position. The inventory is getting saved. As we can see, we have only one flower now, but we don't have saved the instantiated flower, which is what we need. Okay, now how we do that? I will go here in the pickups and I will choose the red herb, this one, which is this is the pickup, and I will go on prefab, select asset, but I have to be in the project over here. So when you do this, it will actually redirect your project to the directory on the file where is situated the position in the project, which is this one. So now on this red prefab, we will close these things over here. This is a folder folder script that I added by my from my asset. I will show you what is inside. So at the moment there is this float strings, and then we have a slider that actually is doing some stuff, but this is only for the author project. We can actually comment this, but we don't need. We just need this integer and strings for our test. They are values private, most of them. I will do this one to private here. Since we are like this here, for some people that might think this is shady, that will not work anymore. The time namespace. Private flow will not be found in the miss 60. Okay, it's here, space. Damn it. Okay, back to the game. Now we create empty. This one we will call it monitor scene, and in this we'll create a child. It will be manager red herbs. On the monitor scene we add this one, reload scene. On the manager red herbs we add save load iObject. And let's do some stuff now. The monitor here has to be only one script in the entire project. And this, it will actually redirect the slot scenes whenever you passed from one save to another save and at the start of the game. This will be the scene low slot. We will say number 1 because we will save it in the number 1. Now over here we have slot folder names, so we will have to add another one, because this it will be the 0 slot and this it will be the number 1. So we're gonna name it both of them, just not to be empty. We will say save 0 0, and this one it will be save 01. So in this way we'll have the save 01 folder in our project. Now we go over here, and since we was in the herb red, this is the pickup, remember, we will add here two scripts from my asset. One of them is iObject, because this is a instantiated object, and we have to write here the manager object instantiated. So the manager is this one, this is the name. Okay, so we just need to write the name manager. You might ask why we need to actually write the name and we don't drag it. Is because this it will get instantiated in the scene, and if I will drag now, it will not stay safe. It will have to find it in the scene. So that's why it's gonna find this object by his name. That's why we write in the name. This is all what we have to do here. Now we have to add even the other one to save the values. I will save only one value for this one. Let's say that you have maybe a component like my one over here. Maybe you have more than one component, or maybe you want to save more than one value. If you want to save more than one value, you can do like this, save another value. So now we will save two values. I will have to drag here and here, because it will get the value from here, and then I will say where I want to set it. I can set it in another float field if I want, but I don't want to do that. I just want to save it in the same field, so I will leave it like that. You can choose. You see health float 1, health float 2, so there are only floats over here. Same we will do over here, but here we will choose something like bool, for example. So for now it's false. During the gameplay we will actually change these values, okay? Pretty much that's all that we have to do now on the prefab. Now we go back on the manager red herbs, and we have to say which prefab it has to actually monitor this manager. So we have to drag over here prefab example to instantiate, because this it will instantiate a prefab from this one with those values that they got saved. And we have to write a unique ID name. This unique ID name have to be unique. Okay. In the future, I will try to do something in such a way to have maybe a drop-down menu in such a way to know which name you already write, or to actually search at the start of the project if there are more than one manager, if there is one manager that is having the same unique ID name. I would recommend not to write down the same name as the prefab. Just for security, I'm saying I will say reverse this one. Instead of red herbs, I will say BS RADR. So it will be like red herbs reverse. It's not important, this name. It's just for him to encrypt the file, and this name it will then be on the name of the file. I will show you later what is going on. Now this over here, we have to select how many game object to be saved on the game. Some people they said, why I'm not creating this dynamically. You can change it if you know C#. Why I'm not doing this? I could do an option for actually be dynamic and not dynamic. Dynamic is that it's saving how many objects you instantiate. If you instantiate 20, it will instantiate 20. It will save 20, and so on. It will grow and it will go down. Depends on the number of these game objects. But maybe you want to set a limit. You can set a limit even by doing with this one. Maybe in the future I will put a limit, and over here you can put 1000, and then but you can put 1000, and I don't think you will ever instantiate 1000 of this game object, because if they get destroyed they will not be saved anymore, just to be clear. So I will put 20, which means that it will save the last 20 objects. If you instantiate 40 objects, it will save only the last 20 instantiated game object in that case. So you have to be aware. You have to do a mathematic to yourself. If you don't know how many player it will instantiate, well then I know, put 2000. Maybe the player it will instantiate 2000 at one moment. But it will be a little bit, even for the game to have 2000 instantiated game object, it will be like a little bit too much. If for every instantiated game object you have 2000, it will get a little bit heavy for any game, actually, to be honest, but I don't know. Try it. I will leave it 20 for now. You have the SOR key. This is the key that it will be used to be encrypted. For now it's 129, but you can change it whatever you want. I will not recommend to put more than 4 numbers, just because it will take more time to encrypt and decrypt, which is more time to save and load for the game. 3 numbers is already too much. And Now, yeah, folder save is not gonna be neither this one is just for my test. I have left it inside. Let me see, what is it? Public. Load again, no. And either this one. I was doing some tests earlier and I was debugging some stuff that was not working. So it will be like this. Okay. Over here, the scene load slot, as I said, we have to say it only for this scene. Okay. When you start this scene, and that's it. If you want to go from this scene to another scene, I will show you in a future video how it is, because this one is gonna be already too long. Now we have to go on the save and load game buttons. So over here we have to save it. I will say here invoke. I will drag it above. Editor and runtime. And I will drag this one, monitor scene, okay? And I will work with the reload scene on slot. Reload scene on slot is this script, just to be clear, okay? So back on the save. Reload scene, and I want to save, yes, save slot integer, and I will say that I want to save on the integer one. Now on the load one, I will say invoke. Of course, with my script over here, it will load from the start of the game, because you should have actually another pre-scene, which is the one with the menu, and then from the menu you go in the loading screen. Since we are already in the play scene over here, it will load already the instantiated game object. As about the game creator doesn't know that, and it will just do a new scene for the start, and then it will load the loading scene. It's a little bit hard to make you understand, but if you do some tests, you will understand. It's very easy. It's just remember that most of the games, they have a first scene that they start. There is the one with the menus where you choose options and stuff, and then you load the the saving slot. Over here we need actually to put this above for another type of reason. So again, monitor scene here, and I will go on the reload scene on slot, and we say that we want to load slot integer, and it will be number 1. In my scene, in the example scene, you will see something like this. You'll see the same one, and over here you will have load scene names. This I will explain in another video what is for and why is needed. Over here I don't need it because this function it's already done by the loading scene over here. So I don't need to reload the scene. It's already reloaded by the loading slot of game creator. Now doing that, let's do a test, and then I will show you an error. I will have to actually create another button now that I'm thinking about, which it will delete the saving slot button. It will be delete. Actually delete slot. This button I will move it a little bit down. I will try the text to increase it. Okay. Now this button have to delete our saving slot. I'll say here delete, invoke, drag in again the monitor scene, editor and runtime. Remember editor and runtime. Reload scene, and I will say delete save slot, and I will say 1. Okay. We will need that for later to show you as one error of the objects that they are already in the scene at the start of the scene. Yeah, it's weird words tweak. What I wanted to say here, as you can see, this one is not instantiated. This is an object that is getting from the start of the scene, but since it is a prefab, that it will be from my prefab. I mean, it's a game object that is coming from my prefab, and they are over here. Red herb, where they are. This one. They having the same save I object and the I object. So this one they will be calculated as being instantiated object at the start. For not to be saved, this one, and to create a clone from them again, I will just do like this. I will remove this component. Because my asset actually save only instantiated game object, not the static one. Static for saying. I will expand my asset for saving even this one in such a way to not be a problem. Because at the moment the game creator is having his own system for actually deleting these objects if you pick up, and if you load again the game to not be anymore over there. But since it's not detected as an instantiated game object at the start of the game, they will not be eliminated. They will just be loaded again every load. Okay, that's all. I just removed those one, but on the main prefab they are staying. Okay, so now let's load the game. I mean the scene. And let's do again that thing. Let's go and take one flower, 2 flowers. I will move here on the left, inventory, drop down, and this is the pickup that is this one over here that have been instantiated as normal as it can be. Now on the manager red over here, if we go, as we can see, is detected only when we will save it. So if I save now, here it is, click, and has said saved, it have been added over here, this one with the position over here. So right now if we give load again, we loaded the game, and as we can see, it's over there. You might say, well, I didn't see nothing, just a fraction of seconds. We're gonna turn off the game and we start again the scene, play. Now at the start, my object, it will be instantiated because, as I said, the main scene, it should be the one with the menu. But over here we don't have a menu scene, so it's instantiated over here again. But now if I press load, it will load even the position of the player, because the game creator, it will load even the position of my player, and the flower with my asset, as you can see. And of course in inventory I still have one flower because it's saved by game creator saving system. Let's see it over here, is the same. Now we head over here to save the two values, the bool and the float. So the float is this one, 100. I will get it down to, I don't know, 76. And bool 1 false, I will put it true. Now I press again save. And now actually I will just turn off again the scene and play again the scene. And this was supposed to be first, as I said, I repeat again, the menu scene where you have the saving slot options and other things, and then you load the scene, the slot actually, and you have here the flower, the position of the player, and now we have even the values on the instantiated game object, 76 and the bool 1 true. Okay. So you can do that for another game object. Let's drop another one. And now if I will press save, I go here in the manage red herbs and have been added even this one. As you can see, we have two flowers instantiated. And we play again the scene. And we load the scene because I repeat, we was supposed to have the menu with settings and loading slot, and we have the two instantiated now. Let's do a test. Let's delete one of them. Let's say that this one, it will be destroyed. If we delete it over here, it been detected as destroyed. Now we have an error because on game creator is still need to actually fix this. Player is having a tracking object, you know, the one that is turning the face for the object. So since it's been deleted, it's creating this error. It's a stupid error of game creator, which probably in the last update it's been already fixed. We don't have the problem. As you can see, the head now is going to the other flower. So we have only one flower here, but in our manager have been cancelled. So if we save now, it will be saved only one flower. Let's save it. We turn off the game. And Synth is doing some stuff. And we load back the scene, and then we have to load the slot. I could do this at the start of the game instead of having a button to have on start to do all this stuff instead of the loading slot. Here it is only one flower now. Let me drop another flower and do the other trick that I said earlier. So we go here, inventory, drop this, save. So this one, it will be saved. Now I go out from the scene and get back in the scene. It will be too many play, stop, quit for testing everything, you know, and load the slot. So we have the two flowers. Now, as I said, if I now delete this, it will give me again that error. Doesn't import. But if I don't save and I actually leave the game, it will not be saved unless you actually add some option for yourself at the exit of the game to be saved. That's another thing. You can do that. It's very simple. You just say on exit save slot. As you can see, my flowers, they are still saved. I will load even the slot with the game creator. They are still saved over there. Let's do another thing. Let's say that this game object, I get it disabled, the one that have been instantiated, the red herb, and I want to save it like that. Okay, so I save it. One it's active, one is not active, or how many I want to not be active. So now I go out from the game, load back the game. And I will load even the slot of game creator with the loading buttons. And now if I go here, as you can see, one is not active and one is active. What happens if I destroy the non-active, for example? Let's destroy it and let's save it. If I will go in the monitor, you'll see over here in the manager that it's been already deleted, but let's do the test, complete test, and see that too. And let me load even the game creator slot. And here it is not anymore over there. Even non-active have been destroyed, still it's detected. For the values whatsoever, they are not saved if it's not active, because in that case, not active game object, they should not be saved. So like the values for these values over here, I mean, if the game object is active, it's something that it should be. If it's not active, I don't see the reason for why to save the values. What was the other things that I wanted to do? The test, yeah, okay, the folder save. This one was saving the name. Let me see first. It was saving save01. So I go here. Save01 is this one. As we can see, we have the BS reader 1, which is, actually let me load the game. It's much easier to understand the stuff. Is this one, anyway, is this name over here that I give it to the manager. Okay, so the folder, this one is the manager, but the 1 at the end is the number slot. And all these files over here is the values that you can find. For example, this is the instantiated objects, which is ADA, which is this one. And then there is other values. You might ask why there are two files for each type. Is because I actually have an encryption and a double file value, which is comparing some double value. Each one is having different value, and if someone is manipulating one of the files over here, or is changing the folder, or is opening the file, those files will result corrupt, and it will just load the default prefab values. I will add in the future something to add a counter for the warnings. First time it will give a warning that the file have been corrupted and cannot be anymore loaded. Second time that it will actually will load those corrupt files. It will give him an option to actually delete that saving slot. If he's still doing it for the third time, all the saving data, they will be deleted automatically, and I don't know, you can choose the actions over there. Maybe, I don't know, give him a ban for playing the game for, I don't know, an hour or two, just to clear his minds. I will do those options in the future, okay? But until here, the saving system is working, and in the future I will try to expand it to save even other objects like this one, static objects, and other values, properties, and something that maybe now I'm not remembering. And yes, I will do a video of passing from one slot to another, which means that you load from this scene, you can go to another scene. Actually, in my saving system there is already included an example. Or if you want this scene to save it in another slot, it will tell you that the saving data, they will be overwritten, which means that that slot, it will be deleted and save it as this one. And you can pass from one load scene to another one, and I'll show you how, but that's gonna be another video because this is already long. Well, have fun. If you have questions, you find me on Discord as always.